Okay, hi guys, how's it going? So, finding byways, finding sort of green lanes that are legal, and exploring and getting those GPX routes onto your phone, all that kind of stuff. I'm no expert on this, but I'm going to show you how I do it, and hopefully it will help some of you guys when it comes to finding interesting off-roady. When I say off-roady, legal byways that you're allowed to ride on. And explore. So what I have here is two windows open. I've got GPX Studio, which is just a website, which is pretty useful. And I've got my local Cornwall map, which is an interactive map where you can turn on layers and you can display byways, which is super, super useful. So if we have a look in here, we have layers and you've got footpaths, bridleways, and byways are the darker, sort of browny, purpley kind of coloured ones. So they're the ones we're looking for. They don't show up until you start to zoom in a bit, and then you can start to see millions of footpaths and bridleways, or the pink and greens. We're not interested in those. We're looking for unfortunately, the ones that are there are fewer of, and that's the darker ones. Obviously, you don't have to do it this way. You can just get GPX files from your friends or get them from online and find routes that way. But this way is kind of interesting because you really may find some that are just completely not very many of the locals know them, or they just really don't get used much. There's a bunch here, look, around the Chasewater, Bisso, kind of Devon. We actually do quite a lot of routes around there, and we stitch a lot of these byways together. For example, actually here, I'll quickly show you one of those. So so this one here, this is one that I've already made. If I just drop that into the window here, you can see it pops up. So that's a bunch of these byways linked together into like a 2-hour sort of nice afternoon's ride. Okay, let's get rid of that one. Let's find a brand new one, and I'll show you how I would make it into GPX. Obviously, you could just be looking at ordnance survey maps. There's various different ways you can do this, but I find this quite a good way, putting one map over here and one map next to it. Let's go up north somewhere that I just basically have never ridden before, and pretend that I'm going to have a day out, an afternoon out over in that area, and I want to try and explore a few new byways. Now this is near Tintagel, so I would imagine there would be a lot of walkers and stuff around here, so you have to sort of bear this kind of stuff in mind. If it's right in the middle of nowhere and there's just a couple of farms nearby, you know that that's probably worth exploring. If it's somewhere right next to a tourist spot, you're probably thinking, that might not be worth exploring. You always got to have a little bit of common sense when you're doing this kind of stuff. So let's find the same spot on this map. So this will also give us an idea of the sort of up and down nature, because we've got our contours showing the hills and everything on the studio map. On this layer, you can turn different layers on. Let's get the same kind of area, and then we'll try to recreate. So let's say we want to stitch together this one, and this one. And I'll just show you how to do that, and then get that onto your phone so you can get out there exploring. So it looks like we're starting down. Let's get this about right. Let's start at the south end, and then we'll work our way out. So we got Tregatta there. So it looks like it's this here. So then we go up to new GPX, and we're going to leave follow on for now. It's very important to know this routing follow roads option, because sometimes it just wigs out and will not let you take the route that you've chosen, and it comes over like that. This time is absolutely fine, but if you find that it's basically, let's say you're going to cross a little tiny river or stream or something, and if you use the follow roads thing, it will sometimes make a giant loop all the way around loads of major roads and then get around to the other side where you literally want to do 1 meter from here to here. That's when you want to be turning off routing, because the routing doesn't always recognize some of the places that we ride as an actual route, so it will go a bit crazy. Then this all looks like bridleways there, so we wouldn't actually be able to ride up that way or down this way. So to be honest with you, this looks like a bit of a dead end. But let's just carry on with a route anyway. We'll go back on ourselves here, and we'll just go up the main road, and then we'll go into so we'll go up, we want to get over to there. Like I said, I think this looks like a bit of a dead end, not a good place to really ride in reality, but we'll just do it as a demonstration. So we can go up there, and it looks like we can go and explore this up to that point, and then it becomes a bridleway, so we wouldn't go any further there. And then we'd come back on ourselves, and we'll go up to there, and we'd do this loop here, because it's always nice to have a loop to explore. Hang on a minute, let's undo that, because I didn't want to do that. Undo button is top left there. I'm going to turn off routing a minute, just because I think it's resisting going down this one. So now we have to do more dots to make it follow. And then we come back on ourselves to here. Okay, and then we'll turn that back on. And then we're going to go back over our existing route up here. And then this is a normal road, so that's fine. Okay, let's zoom out, and then we'll look at where the other one was. It was all the way over here by Tretheavy. I've never been there before, so I might have said that wrong. So let's just click randomly over by Tretheavy, and it should, yeah, because it's got the road routing turned on, it just zoomed us all the way over there, the shortest possible route. And then this looks like it's a regular road, but it is a byway, so you never know, it might be an interesting type of road. So there you go, there we've just linked together sort of 3 little byways that we found on the map, never ridden to before. Like I said, on a realistic sort of basis, I don't think I would really aim to try and get a day out riding here, just because this is a big tourist hotspot by the coast, by the castle, all the rest of it. I don't think it's going to be fantastic. What you can do is often, you know, if you're really trying to find new routes, you can take a mountain bike out first and check it out like that. But if we did this route here as a little bit of back and forth and going back on ourselves in a couple of places to avoid remind myself what their footpaths. Sorry, yeah, the footpaths are pink and the bridleways are green. So we had to do a little bit of going back on ourselves to avoid the footpaths. But if we did this, we would be completely within our rights in terms of it is a legal place to ride. Probably not a clever place to ride, so I wouldn't advise doing this route. But this is just purely for demonstration purposes. Helicopter over me right now, making a right old racket. Anyway, so let's finish that. So we click on the tick button there. So there we have our GPX route. Then we can simply export that. I just normally leave this all as default. Like I said, I'm no expert. As long as I get the route, I don't really care about all the rest of it. And I click on download, and that will pop up in my download folder as a new GPX. Now the first thing I would do is definitely rename it. So just Tintagel Byway GPX. That would do. So yeah, definitely rename it, otherwise you have a zillion different new you know, NEW tracks, GPXs, and your phone will be filled with all these routes and you won't know how you know, it just gets confusing. So rename it before you send it to yourself. And then the next thing I would do is I would literally, it's only 47k, I would email that to myself and then get it onto my phone in that way. There's probably other ways of doing it, but that's just how I do it, and it seems to work absolutely fine. So that's that. We'll jump over into the phone in a minute, and I'll show you how to then get that track up and running, and you know, in an application, so you can actually follow the route on your phone while you're out and about. But before we do that, I'll show you a couple other things that are quite useful. So this GPX Studio, it's very easy to use. You know, you've got your buttons down the left here, you've got your buttons along the top there for loading new ones and all the rest of it. But it's just really quite sort of user friendly. Like for instance, if we literally just drag, so this is the TET, the Great Britain TET route. You can just literally just drag and drop it straight into the window and it pops it up. Now it is a little bit laggy with this in, because the TET route is really quite a large GPX file, because it's got tons of other information about campsites and loads of other stuff, as you can see, and it's, you know, there's tons and tons of points in the TET route, and it's quite long. So yeah, it's quite laggy. That's why some people have issues with the TET GPX on phones and in certain applications, I hear, on iPhone and on Android and all the rest of it. So anyway, yeah, I'm just saying, the GPX viewer does slow down a little bit with this in it, but it works fine. So let's get rid of that TET one just for a moment. Just want to show you you can just drag and drop. Let's get back to the one that we just created, which was up here. And if you wanted to, let's say we wanted to extend that, or we wanted to edit it, or let's say we wanted to, so we have a start and a finish point there. If we just click on the pen button, we can immediately start to add on to the end of it. So if we click over here, it will bring the route all the way over there. And then we can just go and go and go. These council maps are updated all the time. So in theory, you should be well within your rights if you use this. Whereas if you're using like an old Ordnance Survey map or something which is printed and you've had for a couple of years, it may not be up to date, and so a byway may now be closed or something like that. So yeah, that's worth bearing in mind. It's worth checking these sites because, you know, they update them all the time when things change, and unfortunately lane closures is a reality in this day and age, and there's lots of lanes getting closed because people are abusing it and, you know, riding like idiots and scaring horses and doing all that kind of stuff and going across farmers' fields and, you know, generally causing a nuisance. So don't do that, is what I'm saying. We want to keep these byways open as long as we can, and so everyone can enjoy them. Anyway, enough of the lecture. Yeah, I just wanted to show you a little bit about you know, this. Let's say we wanted to add a point. Just turn off the follow again. So let's say we want to add a point there. Oh, hang on, that was coming off the end, wasn't it? We don't want to do that, so we'll just press the undo button. Let's say we just want to change this point, and we'll bring it out to here. And because we've now turned off the routing, as you can see, it just does literally a straight line from there to there to there. But we could, if you wanted to, add another point there, another point there, another point there. Obviously this is not following anything, I'm just showing you how it works. Keep adding as many points as you like to get it as accurate to an actual path or trail as you like. Yeah, so that's just the basics of how to use this. There's lots more to it, but I think that's all you really need to know to do what we're doing here. Okay, let's jump over onto the phone and I'll show you how to get that GPX file into the phone, and yeah, you can get actually following the damn thing in the real world. Okay, so I've just emailed that file to myself. That's how I find a quick and easy way to do it. And then you can either save it to your files on your phone, or this is how I do it. So I'm on the latest iPhone here, by the way. And what I tend to do is if you hold your finger down on the GPX and then you go to share, and then you share it with the application that you're going to be using. And I find that it's this OsmAnd Maps, OsmAnd, whatever the hell it is. I've been using that recently. I've just literally about a week ago had to get a new phone, and I was using a View Ranger before, which is really good, but they changed it and it's now crap basically, and the new version of it is just bollocks. So I had to find a new one, so I got this OsmAnd Maps one, OsmAnd app, and it seems to be pretty good. Not quite as good as View Ranger, but it works, and it works on the new phones. So anyway, so share it with that, and as you can see, that immediately puts it within the map there. So that GPX that I created just a second ago on my computer, it just pops up here straight away, and then obviously you have the ability to simply follow yourself, so you get into the area and then it will start tracking you, and then you can just follow the map and follow the route. So yeah, it really is that simple. It's not too bad at all. You can of course create things directly on here, so I could be viewing the same Cornwall Council site on my computer screen and then creating the routes, or you could simply just be recording as you go. So let's say, you know, let's say we wanted to create one over here. You could just this is one of the things I did find slightly fiddly. By the way, yeah, as you can see, I've got all the text, and I've got millions of different byways, and all these little red lines. They're all different ones that I've created on the phone in the last week or so. Some of them I've ridden many times, some of them I haven't actually explored yet. And if you just tap on them, it will give you the sort of a little quick description down below, and you can go into it and delete it and edit it, and you can do all that stuff on your phone as well. But I don't want to get too bogged down into all of that just yet for this video. I just want to show you the basics of getting on your phone and getting it working. But yeah, so I did find this a slight struggle on this OsmAnd app, OsmAnd Maps, whatever the hell it's called, is in terms of where to get to your tracks and how to add new tracks and import tracks in different ways. If someone's given you a file and you want to get it on there, you want to create a new one, what you have to go into is you click on the bottom left, one with the three lines on it, and then you go into My Places, and then it took me a while that I didn't notice that the Tracks button at the bottom right here, you have the Favorites, and you have Tracks, and I didn't really notice that, so I was searching all over the place for where to access my tracks, and it's down there. So you click on that, and then you can see all the different tracks that I've got on the phone. Some of them I've just created on the phone. Some of them I've created, you know, I've created on the computer and I've downloaded and all the rest of it. And at the very bottom, you've got import tracks option or create new track option. So if I create new track option, I do find this slightly fiddly on the phone, but it does work. But you can simply, you know, you can click on, get the dot over where you want it to be, click add point, and then add point, or you can simply tap on the phone various places and it will keep adding points. I find it slightly fiddly, but it works. And then when you're done, you just obviously click done, and then it's saved that new file. Obviously a nonsense file, doesn't, you know, I can't ride that track. I wasn't, you know, it's not a proper one, just showing you how to do it. So in fact, I will delete that one now before I forget, otherwise later on I might try and ride it by accident. So how do we do that? Yeah, delete, there you go. So press actions and then delete. So yeah, get rid of that one. Anyway, so there you go. That's how I find new byways and how I create GPX and how I get it onto my phone for navigation. And then you can just follow them to your heart's content. Yeah, so there you go, guys. I hope that was useful. A little bit scrappy and a bit rushed. But yeah, I tried to get the basic information over to you. I'll put all the links to all of these things, the apps and the websites and everything in the description of the video. And yeah, hope that was useful, and I'll catch you next time. Okay, bye.